morning, everyone. Pardon me for a second while I get this all set up. For some reason it feels like it's a little blurry. Well, we'll go with that and see how it goes. So, good morning. I'm glad you all are here this morning. Welcome. This is the YogaPodFortCollins feed. I'm Brad, for those of you that might not know. So today, as we work through our Ashtanga series, I want to, the way that it was instilled in me, the way that I've always kind of tried to teach Ashtanga and yoga in general is based in the teachings of Richard Freeman. I've been able to, Richard and Mary, and actually even Ty Hunter, who are some really fabulous Ashtanga teachers, and recommend it at any time if you have any opportunity to study with them, that you do. But a lot of my personal perspectives on yoga are based in kind of the theoretical approach that they teach from it. So Ashtanga is very definitely a traditional practice, but each teacher has a little bit different perspectives on different on how the postures are maybe visualized, or how they're kind of put together in maybe, I'd like to say a thought framework, but it's more like a kind of like a whole body framework. So it's like the whole body is an intelligent system. And so even though we're doing physical postures, there's also this manifestation of a yogic philosophical situation. And so in yoga, we think in terms of the holding of the asana, the feeling of the posture, and we do definitely want to make sure that those are the aspects of the pose. But a lot of the nature of the yoga practice is built into the breathing aspects of the practice, into how the breath articulates in the body, and we call those our vayus, or the way that the winds of the body flowing throughout the body. And there's five various different vayus, these vital winds, and the two that we use most often in a hatha yoga practice, in any hatha yoga practice, even when we don't necessarily know it, the theoretical framework behind it has to do with these two distinct patterns of this lifting, opening, and on the inhale pattern, which really broadens the heart and creates this expansion pattern across the chest, across and lifting up of the spine, the lifting up and lengthening of the body. It's particularly the inhale pattern, and it's thought to really open up the mind, open up the heart, really opening up the body as a whole. The second pattern is that descending pattern that lengthens down the tailbone, and it allows this like contracting in. And when we move through posture, specifically in a vinyasa form, we want to think in terms of this inhale and exhale pattern. Now, they're not by themselves distinctly one or the other. When we really get into the nature of the yoga practice, it is this practice of pressing together these two patterns. And so one of the best visualizations that I've ever really been kind of afforded is that yin-yang symbol, where on one side you have the black and on the other side you have the white, and they kind of are two teardrops that draw towards the same image. And when we are looking at how our posture, there's also a little dot in both of them. So there's a little bit of the white side on the black, and a little dot of the black on the white. And so on our inhale pattern, there's always the element, or just a little bit of the exhale that we don't let go of. So the inhale is called our chronic pattern. The exhale is the aponic pattern. And so when we inhale, we also want to find just the rooting of the tailbone. That keeps us from being too expanded, and it keeps us from collapsing into our lower back, closing off the kidneys and lifting up the tailbone. We want to continue to lengthen out the spine when we're doing all of these different various postures and creating an access and an opening. Even when we come into compression postures, where there is compression on one side of the spine or the other, we're still finding lift and length, so that we're never really losing that descending pattern. At the same time, we always have the inhale pattern. So on the exhale, we still have that lift and lengthening of that chronic pattern. So if that makes sense, both of them, there's always just the seed point of the one within the other. And so we never really want to let everything go. In a deep forward fold, there's still the essence of an inhale, which keeps us elongating forward. So if we were thinking in terms of just that descending or exhale pattern, we would fold into our forward folds and we would release forward and this kind of collapse. But if we want to add this kind of the real essence of the yoga practice and the yoga postures, we would have the inhale at the same time. The exhale would wrap us in, and in between is where we find our yoga postures, right? And so today, as we work through this first section of it, we're going to just think about contemplating that for a second. So go ahead and lay down on your back, legs obviously out in front. And I'm going to situate this here. So as we lay onto our back, reach your arms up above your head, and you'll naturally feel your shoulders kind of peel up off the floor. The outsides of the shoulders will feel up. If your palms are towards the ceiling, you might feel like the elbows drop down, and you'll feel the shoulder blades move towards one another. Instead of this, thinking in terms of wrapping the triceps in and bringing your palms towards one another, they're not going to touch because our head is in between them, and we want to make sure that we can breathe freely. As you inhale, you'll feel your lower back come up off the floor. And again, that's just a natural response to the inhale pattern. And so we want to maintain a little bit of that. At the same time, as you exhale, see if you can take the tailbone down towards the floor. To do that, activate through the backs of the legs. So push your heels down and pull forward. And that'll cause the shoulders to lift up. It'll cause the front of the body to engage. And that's that exhale pattern, that aponic pattern is contributing there. So create with an exhale, press the tailbone down by pulling with your heels. Feel the body wrap in a little bit, so we have the weight pressing back into the legs. There might even be a little micro bend in the legs, and that's perfectly fine. At the same time, reach the arms long, lift the chin up a little bit. And so in there, we find the essence of our yoga postures, right? So it's those two different actions. If we were in a forward fold, let's go ahead and exhale, press your tailbone down to the floor, and then with your inhale, feel the tailbone want to drop as you lift your legs up towards the sky. Now we're in downward facing dog in a lot of ways. So we want to think about pulling the heels forward, which causes the lower back to lift up. And then we want to think about pressing through the heels up. And now we have the aponic pattern. So both patterns at the same time. With our inhale, we want to really feel the body elongate out from the waist. Press the tailbone towards your heels, activate through the legs, pushing your legs towards the ceiling, and feel both patterns simultaneously. And then if we wanted to really get into the down dog form, think about shoulder blades moving away from one another so the outside of the armpit cups towards the sky in this form here. Bring your palms, without losing that, bring your palms as if they were on the floor and extend through the arms. Keep broadening the shoulder blades so you're not squeezing your ears. If you naturally let the lower back lift up, a lot of people have that anterior rotation in the pelvis. So we want to keep pressing your feet to the sky. As you push out through your arms and wrap your tailbone in, now do just a little bit of an aponic tucking of the chin in and look towards your belly button a little bit. So it coils the upper body in. We push through the heels. As we push through the heels, we want to feel that activation and engage. Now, extend the arms back a little bit more. Try not to squeeze the sides of the neck, but keep a fluidity in the neck. And so in a posture like down dog, where we hold for a long period of time, we can experiment and experience both of those actions. And so the bandhas, when we talk about bandhas, if you're familiar, on the inhale pattern, the inner thighs are going to move away from one another, are going to move through, and the sitting bones start to move away from one another. As we exhale, it's more like we're pressing our kidneys wide, drawing the lower back wide, and in so doing, we feel the waist hollow. Feel the pubic bone drawn towards the lowest part of the sacrum, so we're squeezing in. That's one pattern that we want to maintain, more of a Mula Bandha pattern, right? And then on the inhale, you might find that you feel a suctioning up. That's the Uddiyana Bandha, and that would be our that inhale pattern. It would also create an engagement up just beneath the belly button, and even wrapping the feeling the kidneys expand on the inhale. You'll feel a hollowing in the navel. But then as you exhale, pressing through the tailbone, up towards the heels, you'll start to feel an engagement there. And so both of the bandhas at the same time start to engage simultaneously, creating our yoga posture. So it's about these two patterns, these two values, and cultivating a kind of connection, a meeting point, a melding towards one another. In yoga, this connecting point, or this movement of the pranic pattern and the aponic pattern, creates what we call a mudra, right? So sometimes we have these kinds of mudras where we're creating a connection and a tension and an awareness of different kind of manifestations of, you know, yoga philosophy. Maybe it's the values, maybe it's something different, maybe it's just a regard for something like the earth element, right? But then at the same time, we have an internal alignment, or an internal mudra. At the end of the practice, we practice yoga mudrasana, where we feel both of these patterns joined together. We also practice in this from my particular kind of strain of the Ashtanga lineage through Richard Freeman and Mary Taylor, is Tadagi Mudra, where we lay flat for just a couple of moments and we bring our attention and our focus, our awareness into this center line of the body. When we're in Samastihitihi, we have a similar action. Both patterns engage, creating that action, that dynamic, kind of a dynamic intelligence that allows us to move with concentration and awareness through our practice. And so I'll leave it right there for today. We want to think about these two different patterns, and more than think about them, we want to experiment and experience them. So it's a sensation that we're looking for, a deeper, more intuitive intelligence. Building that intelligence is a lot of our yoga practice. It's also really what which joins the healing aspect and the athletic aspect of the practice, and it's what joins the meditation aspect with the physical practice. And so we find these joining points, these mudras, these pressing togethers of these different patterns and purposes in the practice, and really that's where we're at when we do Ashtanga. That's what's most appealing to me about this practice, and hopefully it's something that's interesting for you. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to go here. So go ahead and come to the front of the mat, standing in Samastihitihi, bringing hands to heart center. We'll start with our invocation. Let's go ahead and do it all together, beginning and ending with an Om. Deep breath, inhale. Vande Gurunam Chardanaravinde Sandar Shita Svatma Sukha Vabode Nishrayase Jangalikaya Mane Samsara Hala Hala Moha Shantiyaye Abahu Purushakaram Shan Kachikara Sidarinam Sahasra Shirsam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. And then standing in Samastihiti, and find that balanced form, which means a pranic form, which causes the inner thighs to move back. It causes that little bit of a lower back bend, anterior pelvis tilt. But then we want to find that exhale pattern as well. We root the tailbone down into the floor, heels down into the floor, and we find strength through the legs. On the inhale, the inner thighs lift, drawing the waist in and up, pubic bone back. Uddiyana Bandha pattern. And then as we exhale, we press the tailbone down towards the floor, feeling a consolidation or an engagement through the pelvis, right? So we want to feel almost a density occurring in the pelvis. The inhale hollows and lifts. And then the exhale creates that engagement. And then we start with Surya Namaskar A. Try to remain engaged, root through the tailbone and find that action. Then inhale, the arms come up, press the palms together, squeezing the legs tight. As you exhale, tailbone drops down, but drag the heels back. So try to use the backs of the legs to drag the heels back. Bring your hands to the floor. Maintain the engagement, pressing into the floor. Inhale, lift the heart, inner thighs still moving back. As you exhale, let's step back into high plank pose. In our high plank pose, we want to feel the pressing down of the arms, coiling of the tailbone towards your heels, almost like you're trying to slide your legs back using the back of the leg strength. Down, dome through the upper body, so you feel that doming. Lift the chin up off the chest just a little bit. So we're fully engaged here, pushing back through the heels. At the same time, imagine you're lifting them up. So when the glutes engage, it allows us to take the tailbone downward just a little bit. Then inhale, just because we need to inhale before we exhale. And then come forward onto your toes just a little bit. Bend the elbows. They don't have to come down to 90 degrees. Bend the elbows, draw them back, and flip the feet. As you start to flip the feet, lift your hips up, and then inhale, come into your upward dog. Notice I'm not locking out. My shoulders are back instead of forward. And then as you exhale, pulling with the feet, lift your hips up to the sky. Let the head go. So as the head drops down, feel the inhale, draw the inner thighs up to the sky. As you exhale, press down through the outsides of the legs. 1. Inhale, inner thighs draw up, waist pulls up and towards the lowest ribs on the back of the body. As you exhale, press the tailbone down and feel that gathering of density in the pelvis. Taking 2 more breaths. Inhale, inner thighs drawn up. Exhale, pressing the tailbone towards your heels, squeezing. 1 more time. Inhale, inner thighs draw up and back. Exhale, press the tailbone towards the floor. Look forward. Step or float towards the front of the mat. On your inhale, make sure you maintain the strength of the legs, lifting the heart forward. As you exhale, fold in, push into the floor. Draw the gaze up. And then root into the floor. Inner thighs draw back, arms come up. Inhale. And then exhale, arms to the side. Samastihitihi. Inhale, arms up, press the palms together, look at the thumbs. As you exhale, folding, press the tailbone towards your heels. Inhale, draw the heart open. Exhale, high plank pose, just to set the precedent. Push into the floor, lift the chin. Inhale. As you exhale, chaturanga. Lift the hips. Inhale, roll the heart open, look at the nose. And then exhale, hips towards the sky for downward facing dog. Experiment with that pattern. The inhale pattern hollows, lifts, creates that pranic movement of drawing energy along the length of the spine, almost like we're trying to breathe from the pelvis all the way up to the crown of the head, or up at least into the back of the heart. And then as we exhale, we're pushing down through the tailbone towards the heels. Breathe the breath from the groin towards the back of the heart. As you exhale, press the tailbone towards the heels. Feel both patterns. Inhale 1 more time. Fill up the heart. As you exhale, anchor the tailbone. Bend the knees. Step or float to the front. Inhale. Pull the heart forward. Keep the tailbone rooted. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Rising up. Deep breath. Reach up. Exhale, arms to the side. Samastihitihi. Inhale. Arms up. Press the tailbone towards the earth. Lift the arms. Exhale. Fold forward. Hands come down to the mat. Inhale. Keep the rooting of the tailbone as you unroll the spine. Heart forward. Exhale into chaturanga. So push into the floor. Lower down slowly. And then inhale. Pull the arm, the head of the arms back. And exhale. Hips towards the sky. Long legs, long arms. See if you can imagine lifting up out of the ankles. So each of these patterns should articulate throughout the entire body as we become more developed in our yoga practice. Sometimes they can feel ethereal and theoretical because they are theoretical and largely ethereal. But as we practice, they become more concrete and they become more visceral. And that's that visceral connection to the pattern of the breath that allows us to articulate each of the postures and then also
really reap the benefits of the healthy aspect of the practice. Inhale into the back of the heart, feel the back of the heart lift. As you exhale, press the tailbone towards the earth, bend the knees, look forward, front of the mat. Inhale, pull the heart forward, inner thighs drawn back. Exhale, push into the floor with your hands and your feet. Inhale, rising up, reach to the sky. Exhale, anchor down through the tailbone. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. 1, 2. So I don't recommend usually closing your eyes in down dog because we have this tendency to drift off and think about other things, losing the energetic connection to the muscular connection to the body. But since we're paying attention to that, deep attention to that that connection with the breath, maybe you do close your eyes a little bit here and allow yourself to feel that. If you start to forget why your eyes are closed, open them up slightly. If you feel like you're in a flawless sleep, open your eyes. Take one more breath. Inhale into the back of the body. Visualize that expansion. As you exhale, press the breath up. Tone through the pelvic floor. Look forward. Front of the mat. Inhale. Pull the heart open. Exhale. Press the tailbone down. Inhale. Rising up. Reach up to the sky. And exhale. Arms to the side. Samastihitihi. Inhale. The arms come up. Exhale, fold, hands down, tailbone down. Inhale, expand and open. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. 5 breaths, inhaling. Exhale. 1, inhaling. Exhaling. 2, inhale, exhaling. 3, inhale, exhale. 4, one more inhale. Finishing out the exhale, pressing the breath out. Look forward, front of the mat. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, consolidate. Hug and create that density. Maintain that. Inhale, arms come up, reach up. And exhale, arms to the side. Again, ekam, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale. Chatwari, exhale. Pancha, inhale. Shot, exhale. And 1. One of the most fabulous parts of this is that as we learn to join the inhale pattern and the exhale pattern and create that center line mudra, a deeper intelligence, we find that a lot of the physiology and the biomechanical aspects of the practice start to join together. In other words, as we cultivate this connection to the breath, we find that those processes become a little bit more clarified and a little bit more intentional. So the muscular engagement becomes more purposeful. The heat building aspect of the practice becomes a little bit more poignant. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, push the hands down into the floor. Exhale, push the feet to the floor. Bend the knees, step forward or float to the front. Inhale, expansion, lift the heart. Exhale, coil in. Nava, inhale, arms come up, reach up.
Then exhale, arms to the side. Samastihiti. Surya Namaskar B. Set deep into your exhale. Tailbone anchors down, squeeze down. Your lower back will round a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, tailbone anchors, fold forward. Inhale, pull the heart open. Bend your elbows, tip your weight forward. Chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Left foot flat, right leg forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands down, chaturanga. Up dog, and then down dog. Gaze towards the navel, right foot flat, left foot. Inhale, rising up. And then exhale, hands down. Coil, expand and up dog. And exhale, down dog. 1. At the same time, if you are not breathing and if these patterns aren't alive in the postures, then it's arguable to say that we're not doing yoga poses, because yoga really is the consolidation of these two breathing patterns, the pressing them together. Yoga is mudra. Mudra would be what we would call the full manifestation of asana in Ashtanga. We build that by that deep connection to the counted breathing patterns. In other practices, it might be a little bit different, but it's still the same intelligence moving through the body. One more inhale, back of the heart expands. Exhale, press the breath out, look forward, front to the mat. Inhaling, Panchadasha, lift the heart, inner thighs back, tailbone down. Exhale, Shodana, fold. Set deep, Utkatasana, Saptarasha, inhale, and then exhale, Samastihiti. Utkatasana, Ekam, inhale, look at the thumbs. And exhale, Dve, fold forward, palms press down. Trini, inhale, lift the chin, tip weight forward. And Chatwari, Chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right foot forward. Sapta, inhale, rise up. Exhale, Ashtau, coiling in. Nava, up dog. Dasha, down dog. Left foot forward, right foot flat. Inhale, Ekadasha, uncoiling. Dvadasha, tailbone drawn in. Inhale, Triyudasha. And exhale, Chaturasha. 1. 2. 3. 4. One more inhale. Finish your exhale. Float or step to the front. Inhaling, Panchadasha. Exhale, Shodasha, coil. Sit deep, Saptarasha, Utkatasana. And exhale, Samastihiti. Ekam, inhale, Utkatasana. Dve, exhale, Uttanasana. Trini, inhale, lift chin. Exhale to Chatwari. A little push up. Pancha, inhale, up dog. Shot, exhale to down dog. Right foot forward. Sapta, inhale, reaching. Ashtau, exhale. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, contraction. Left foot forward. Engage, inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, Triyudasha. And exhale, Chaturasha. 1. 2. 3. 4. Finish the exhale.
and 5, front of the mat. Inhaling, Panchadasha, pull the heart open. Exhale, Shodasha, squeeze in. Utkatasana, arms up, inhale. And then exhale, Samastihiti. Ekam, inhale, reaching. Dve, exhale, folding. Trini, inhale, lengthening. Exhale, Chatwari. Pancha, inhale, lift the heart. Shot, exhale, lift the hips. Right foot forward. Sapta, inhaling. Ashtanga, exhale. Nava, up dog. Dasha, down dog. Inhaling, Ekadasha. Exhaling, Dvadasha. Trayodasha, inhale. Chaturdasha, exhale. 1. 2. 3. 4. And then 5, forward. Inhaling, Panchadasha. Exhaling, Shodasha. Seti Saptadasha, arms up. And then Samastihiti. 1 more. Ekam, inhaling. Exhaling, Dve. Trini, inhaling. Exhale, Chatwari. Pancha, inhale. Chat, exhale. Right foot, Sapta, inhale. Ashtanga, exhale. Nava, up dog. Dasha, down dog. Ekadasha, rising. Dvadasha, Chaturanga. Inhale, Trayodasha. And exhale, Chaturdasha. 1. 2. 3. 4. And then 5. Panchadasha, inhale. Shodasha, exhale. Saptadasha, inhale. And Samastihiti. Exhale, bring your hands to your waist, elbows drawn back, float the feet apart. The inhale pattern lifts you, but the tail feathers want to stick back, so keep them pressing down. Exhale, fold, tailbone drawn down. Grab your big toes, lengthen the spine. Inhale. As you exhale, elbows wide. It's easy just to collapse forward. We want to coil the tailbone down, elongate, and then draw in. Elbows want to draw out. We want them to draw out, but we also want to hug to the midline. So we don't want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. We want to squeeze across the front of the body. Broaden the lower back. Create length through the tail. 4. And then 5. Inhale, lift the heart. Hold there for a moment. Feel your tailbone anchor down into the floor. Lean a little bit way back. Bring your hands underneath your feet. Hold that engagement, then inhale. Add that little bit of a pattern of expansion, and then exhale, elbows wide. Again, try not to squeeze the shoulder blades. Roll them away from one another. 1. Try not to relax too much into the pose. Instead, strengthen into the pose. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, squeeze and hold. Hands to the waist. Inhale, come up. And exhale, feet together, Samastihiti. So even as we move into these other forms, into these other separate leg postures, we want to continue to cultivate that action.
So Uttita Trikonasana. Take the right foot, step it back, inhale, rotate your feet. So we want to find expansion out of the right side body. As you exhale, coil in. Keep the kidneys broadening as you wrap in. Then hold those two patterns and inhale, open up the heart, look up towards your upper thumb. 1. If you start to release into the pose or sag, come out, adjust your hand if you need to, but lift the arm up to the sky. So the perfect alignment is where these two patterns join intelligently. If you have a perfect posture, but those two patterns are not working together, then we're losing the yoga aspect of it, and we're just posing. 4, we're becoming a poser. And then 5, inhale, come on up, deep breath, rotate your feet, right hip will rotate gently forward, but we pull the hip back as we exhale, anchoring the tailbone. Then inhale, feel the inner thigh draw back, the right hip opens, push into the floor with your front big toe. Find those two patterns. Too much prana causes a back bend, too much apana causes us to coil forward. Find both engagements, broaden the kidneys, broaden the front of the heart. 4, and then 5. Inhale, come on up, left arms long, left side body long. As you exhale, extending, wrap the body across the front thigh, right arm up. And it's easy to coil in a little bit too much here because the posture is kind of a forward folding, coiling posture. So now we have to really concentrate on the lifting of the heart open, the rolling of the right shoulder back. At the same time, send the groin back and then breathe your pubic bone towards the back of the diaphragm, the lowest ribs on the back of the body. And then 5, look down. Inhale, arms come up, reach to the sky. As you exhale, extend right arm long, reaching, right hand comes down, left arm up. And again, take the inner thighs back a little bit, press into the floor, spin open. Take the tailbone down, take the heart forward. The tailbone anchoring broadens the kidneys, creates that one sensation. 4, and then 5, look down. Inhale, windmill, bring it up. And then as you exhale, step to the front, Samastihitihi. Similar actions in our partial Tanasana, which is our extended setting. Step the right foot back, rotating, bend the right leg, extending, right side body long. We're going to create that length here. Bring the hand down to the floor. Palm will work if you bring it down. Fingertips work. We're simultaneously pushing down with that exhale pattern. With the inhale pattern, we're pulling up. Left arm reaching. Inhale through the inner arm, through the inside of the elbow. As you exhale, feel that length maintained as you hug in and twist. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, come on up, deep breath, rotate your feet. As you exhale, bend the left leg, coil in, find that consolidating action, hug to the midline. Inhale, create the action. Inhale the inner thigh, drawn up. Exhale, pushing down. Inhale the inner arm, reaching. Exhale the outside of the foot, pushing in. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, come on up, deep breath, left arm's lifted. And then as you exhale, take the left arm out over, drop the thumb, coil the sits bones towards the earth. Your back knee might even come down to the floor. Feel the belly button pull up off the thigh by taking the tailbone and sitting bones really super deep. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Maybe your back leg straightens, maybe your back heel drawn down. 2. So again, every time you exhale, anchor through the sitting bone. 3, 4, and then 5. Inhale, coming up, deep breath. Right arm's lifted, up on the back toes if you need. Back knee can come down as you exhale. Wrap it in. Drop the thumb. And then maybe your hand comes down. Maybe your hands are at the heart. From there, push your back leg long if it's going to come up. Take the tailbone down. Now the left sitting bone continues to squeeze forward. We want to make sure that we engage through the abdomen, broaden the kidneys, not letting the hips lift up behind you, but coiling them in. 4, and then 5. Look down, inhale, come on up, deep breath. Exhale to the front, Samastihitihi. Prasarita Padottanasana, right foot steps back. I'm going to do left just so that I can demonstrate fully. That's the inhale. As you exhale, elbows drawn back. Palms come down. Inhale, lift the heart open. Exhale the head towards the earth. So as you press down into the floor with your hands, your feet are pressing down as well. Every time you inhale, broaden the front of the heart. Every time you exhale, broaden through the lower back. If you're able to bring your head to the floor, do so, but then pushing down, open up the front of the throat. 3. Keep anchoring the legs down. 4. And then 5. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sustain the engagement there. Hands to the waist. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, anchor down. Keep the hands here. Inhale, roll the collarbones open. Pull the inner thighs up. Exhale, hips move back, heart presses forward. Maintain your hands here. Feel inner thighs wrap back, outside edge of the hips back, and then fold in. Even the anatomy actions are opposing. So the inner thighs rotating back elongates the front of the waist, but at the same time, we want to feel tailbone anchor down, an external rotation of the hips. Join those two posture patterns together, breath patterns, and elongate the spine. 4, and then 5. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, anchor the tail. Arms come out nice and wide. Drop the thumbs, bring your hands back behind you. Push into the floor. Lift the heart up. Draw the pubic bone back to the sacrum. As you exhale, folding forward. Drop the arms up and over the shoulders. It's easy to pay only attention to the shoulders. Then we're like, oh wait, I gotta wake up my arms here, and I've gotta wake up my legs. We usually go there. But now, really bring the focus towards the pelvic floor. On the inhales, feel the breath move up the inner legs, all the way towards the back of the diaphragm. As you exhale, press into the floor, squeeze into the mat, bring your wrists over. One more time. Inhale pattern, lifts, hollows the waist, strengthens the legs. Exhale, press into the floor, find your depth. Inhale, come on up, deep breath. Exhale, hands slide right back to the waist. Inhale, roll the collarbones back. Exhale, cast it forward. Heart deep. Grab your big toes, peace sign, fingers and thumbs. Inhale, lift the heart open. Exhale, folding in. And 1, broaden the throat if your head's on the floor. 2, strengthen the legs. 3, 4, and then 5. Inhale, unroll the heart. Exhale, the tailbone anchors into the floor. Inhale, come on up. And then exhale to the front, Samastihitihi. Take the arms out as you step the right foot back. Arms come out. As you exhale, bring the palms together behind the back of the heart. If you have shoulder issues, grab opposite elbows. Inhale, extra breath. Draw the tailbone down. Lift the back of the heart. As you exhale, that's that descending pattern. So we don't just lay out over the front leg, but we coil through the tailbone, sits bones moving down, chin towards the front shin, push into the mat. Lengthen the spine. We want to elongate through the throat, but we don't want to collapse the back of the neck. So broaden the back of the heart. Elongate through the front of the throat. 4, and then 5. Push into the floor. Inhale, come on up. As you exhale, rotate, extra breath. I like the extra breath here so we can move intentionally. Inhale, anchor down through the tailbone, lift the heart. Exhale, coil the tail, draw it down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Inhale, come on up. And then exhale to the front, Samastihitihi, arms to the side. And then Uttita Parshvakonasana, Uttitasta Parshvakonasana. Bring your hands to the waist. And then root down through the tailbone. Take your right big toe with your peace sign, fingers, thumbs. Inhale, reach your right leg forward. As you exhale, left rib cage comes in. Inhale, deepen the groin. Pull the inner thighs up and back towards the pubic bone drawn towards the back of the rib cage. As you exhale, coil in deeper, left kidney towards your right thigh. 3, 4, And then 5, stand up straight. Inner thighs deepen. Exhale, opening up to the side. Tailbone deepening. Find those 2 patterns. Inhale, expanding the back of the heart. Exhale, push through the tailbone, broadening the kidneys. 4 and 5. Inhale, forward, deepen the groin. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, stand up, pull the chin in a little bit. Draw the ears back, hold the pose. 3, 4, and then 5. Release your right foot down to the floor. Anchor it down with lots of strength and dignity. Reach down, find your left big toe. Inhale, extend the leg, but pull the energy back. Pubic bone drawn back. Exhale, push with your heel and your toe forward. Squeeze your right rib cage in. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, draw up, tail down. Exhale, open to the side. Externally rotate the left thigh a little as you push through the mound of the toe, broadening the heart. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, stand up straight, hands to the waist, pull and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, releasing. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, and then from here, Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. Anchor the left leg, make it strong. Lift up the right knee, open it up to the side, heel towards your hip crease for half lotus pose, or prepare for your figure 4. Right arm comes up, drop the thumb, slide it down the back of the rib cage towards your toes. Maybe you find them, maybe you can find them in a moment, or figure 4. Left arm up and fold forward, hand down to the floor, press the palm against the earth if you can. Both hands can come down to the floor. Charge the tail towards the earth. Draw the gaze towards the belly button. Inner thigh pulls back a little bit. Right shoulder, knee almost towards the armpit as you broaden the back of the hips. 4, 5. Inhale, lift your heart forward. Exhale, support the foot. Inhale, come on up, deep breath. And exhale, release your right foot down to the floor. Anchor it down. Left foot comes up, figure 4, or preparing for the full posture. Left hand slides down the back of the rib cage towards your elbow or your foot. Inhale, right arm might come up. Exhale, you fold. You can take any of the different variations. Remember, you want to protect your knees. To do so, you have to have enough mobility in the hips. Hip mobility takes longer to gain for those of you with stiff hips. 3, so you have to be patient. 4 and 5. Inhale, lift your heart forward. Exhale, squeeze in. And come on up, deep breath. And then exhale, releasing. Foot down to the floor. And so we have these 2 patterns. We've been working on the postures. It's easy to forget about the patterns. So we take our vinyasa, arms up, press the kidneys back. Dvaya, exhale, fold, hands come down. Trini, inhale, lift the heart, bring weight to the hands. Chaturanga, exhale, low push them. Up dog, inhale, and then down dog. Exhale immediately. This time, press the breath out, look forward, float forward. Utkatasana, squeeze the tail down, arms up. 1. So staying here with your lower body, bring your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, and find that pranic pattern by taking your interlaced fingers towards the floor. That's the back bend. Now take your tailbone down and feel the consolidation of those 2 patterns. Then maybe the arms come back up and fold forward, hands down, coil the tailbone down. Inhale, lift the heart, bend the knees, hug them up into the rib cage. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right foot forward, left foot flat. Inhale, warrior 1, arms up, look up at the thumb. And so it's a similar action. You could interlace your fingers behind you here, but we want to make sure that we continue to anchor down through the tailbone and the sitting bones, lifting the heart. 4, and then 5. Press up, inhale. And as you exhale, deepen into that front leg lunge. Maybe if you did so on the other side, it's a good idea to do the interlaced fingers. Wrap it down, lift the heart. Then maybe the arms come back up. 4, and then 5. Warrior 2, opening up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up on inhale, rotate your feet as you exhale. Warrior 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finish the exhale. Hands down. Hug the knee in. Chaturanga. Up dog. And then down dog. Hips to the sky. Bend the knees. Look forward. Float forward. Dandasana. Legs out in front. So legs straight out in front. Press them together. Pressing your heels down into the floor. Just adjusting the camera for a moment. 3. So the hands as they press down help to create that connection to the aponic pattern. Lifting the sternum up. 4 and then 5. Inhale, lift your chin up off your chest. As you exhale, strengthen through the legs, and we'll take that different variation we worked on last week. Inhale, arms come up above you. Even though we don't normally do this, lift the arms up. That creates chronic pattern. As you exhale, move down about a third of the way. From here, it's easy to start to curl your lower back behind you. The exhale pattern helps to create that, but we want to maintain the chronic pattern. So inhale again, deepen the groins, push your heels down, push your tailbone down. Exhale almost down towards ribs on thighs, but we start to curl in. So inhale, reaching forward. As you exhale, grab the big toes, pull the big toes back, lift the heart forward. So again, we're not collapsing in. That kind of leads to kind of a closed off personality, and we want to keep elevating and opening up. And 5, inhale, come up, hold there, take the tailbone down, thumb to the big toe knuckle. Inhale again, lift the heart, deepen the groin, exhale, elbows wide. So we don't want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So wrap the elbows in a little bit. We want to keep them moving wide rather than straight down, because that does the same thing. So we want to broaden front of the body, back of the body. And then 5, inhale, come up. As you exhale, interlace the fingers out in front. Lift the heart open. Exhale, fold. Press the heels down, press the tailbone down. Elongate through the front of the body. Maybe you let your forehead come down a little bit and elongate just a little bit deeper. Lengthen the legs, make them strong. 5, inhale, lift the heart forward. As you exhale, bring your chin towards your chest and coil. So that's the exhale pattern, pulls your body long. And then lift up the heart and draw the head back. It's easy to just collapse into the shoulders here. So push through the inner part of the hand and lift the sternum to the sky. 3, 4, and then 5. Releasing down. Inhale, lift the knees, pull them up into the chest, squeeze in. As you exhale, rotate forward, hold that form, lift up, inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale, down dog, exhale, and then we'll find our seat. Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. Right leg, draw it back, open it up to the side. Heel up to the hip crease. Yeah, gentle in this pose with the knees, similar reason as before. Take the right hand back, reach for your big toe. Take the left arm up, reaching towards the sky, hand to the side of the foot. Figure 4, options available. If that's a tough grab for you, sometimes this can be an easier form of the pose until the outer hip opens up. Again, we want to make sure our hip's opening so that our knee does not suffer. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, squeeze in, hug. Bring your knees up towards your armpits. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale, pressing the breath out. Look forward, second side. So left leg drawn in, heel up to the hip crease, or taking your figure 4 variation as appropriate. Left hand moves back, right arm moves up, and fold forward. If your foot's in the figure 4 form, bend the right leg and flexing toes back towards shin. Press into the floor. squeezing in. Ankle presses into the leg and the knee presses back just a little bit. Both patterns create the yoga pose. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift your chin, look forward. Exhale, hold that form. Pull the belly in. Then draw the knees in towards the armpits. Shins cross, not the ankles, shins cross. Lean forward, lift up, inhale. Exhale, low push-up pose, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. And then this time, Chaturanga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana, right leg forward, left heel beside you. So pressing the breath out, tailbone down, look forward, float, right leg forward, left heel beside you. We're in this form here. Maybe a brick underneath your right cheek if you need to, extending forward. Find your front leg, inhale, and then exhale, fold. And so I don't generally teach the arms up because I'd like people to get there first and then inhale, but you can reach out in front, create that pranic pattern before you grab, and then exhale, hug in. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look up, exhale, squeeze the tailbone down, bring your hands back, leg comes up, exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, inhaling, down dog, exhaling. This time the left leg, the right leg is back, the left heel is forward. And set down. Left heel or left hip might move out a little bit. You might set on a break if you need to. I'll just demo that one. And fold forward. And again, extending out, pranic pattern, lifts your heart. Exhale, coil, tailbone down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, coil the tailbone in, even as you hold that form. Then leg up, inhale, and exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, and then down dog. Janu Sirsasana, bend the knees, look forward, seated. Legs both can come out in front unless you have a smoother transition. Right knee drawn in, open it up to the side, reach for your front foot, maybe inhale, extend forward, find your bind, and exhale, fold. Knee can be bent. So one of the aspects of thinking about the breath in this way, thinking about the collective benefits of every breath throughout the practice, is that our body becomes more intelligent and our postures will become more clear. At the same time, the postures don't have to be perfect. They just have to have those two elements of the breath. 4, and then 5. Inhale, come on up, deep breath. Exhale, tailbone down, squeeze in. Cross your shins, lean forward, lift up, inhale. Exhale, low push-up pose, chaturanga. Find the up dog, pull the collarbones back. Find the down dog, hips to the sky, seated. Right leg out in front, maybe both. Left heel drawn back. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, coil in. 1. Again, there's no perfect posture because everybody has a different anatomy, so there's no one image of the pose. But those two breath patterns, like actual wind, it's more about their productivity, how they're manifesting in the body. That's where we find the benefits of yoga. And then 5, inhale, lift your chin forward. Exhale, squeeze in. Feel the core engage. Bring your hands back, cross the shins. Lift up on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Low push-up or knees down, chin down, chest down. Hips to the sky. Let's go to Marichyasana A. Float forward, sit down. Take the right heel just to the outside. So we want it to be just about the hip width distance. If the toes rotate out a little bit, that's fine. But try to keep your heel down on the floor, right hip up off of the floor. On the inhale, reach your arm up. As you exhale, cast it forward. As you cast it forward, try not to rock out, but coil the tailbone down. Feel that wrapping of the tailbone down. Drop the thumb. Reach back, find your other hand. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, coiling in. And 1, 2. Trying to evaluate your experience, but almost mesmerized by kind of the possibility in the pose. 4, and then 5. Inhale, come up, and exhale, squeeze in. Cross your shins, squeeze in,
And then lift up, inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, and then down dog, second side, floated forward. Legs out in front, left heel drawn back. Take your left arm, reach way up, inhale. As you exhale, reach out in front. Coil the tailbone down like you're trying to expand, or you're trying to drive it forward. Drop the thumb, reach back, bind. Modify as you need to. So that tailbone still anchoring, lengthening out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, come up. Exhale, cross your shins, squeeze in. Lean forward, lift up. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Find the up dog, pull the heart open. As you exhale into down dog, press the breath out, look forward, float forward, set down. Marichyasana C. So skipping a lot of postures today because I want to make sure we get the principles of the postures in our, kind of stitch them into our practice. So take the right knee up. This time it's a twist, so we're going to bring it in a little bit, not quite touching, a little bit of space in between, 4 or 5 inches. Then take your right hand back behind you. As we move into the pose, the right hip will move back just a little bit. So bring your right hand back behind you. Feel the waist hollow. Prana pattern lifts up the inhale. Find that expansion. The lower back actually almost lifts up. But then as we exhale, we drop the thumb. We coil the tailbone forward a little bit. So we have flexion in the lower back as we wrap in. Maybe we stay here. The coiling action is consistent. The right hip wants to move back with the inhale, but then as we exhale, we take the inner thigh forward. Balance those two patterns. If the two patterns stay balanced, you should feel lengthening through both sides of the lower back, the tailbone and sitting bones rooting forward towards your front heel, which is pressing down and engaged. And then maybe with your bind, you roll the heart open, and that becomes the upper back part of the posture. And then 5, inhale, look forward, exhale, release, squeeze in, cross your shins, pull the knees in, and step back or float back, chaturanga. So modification's always useful here. And the reason we modify is so that we can really stitch those two patterns into the body. We want to make sure that we're comfortable with these patterns. So right leg out in front, getting a little bit of space in between. Right hand can come to the outer thigh, and then, or inhale, right arm up, drop the thumb, coil in, wrap the body in. Feel that sitting bone move forward. Inhale, draw the hip back gently a little bit. It'll move backwards a little bit, and then as you exhale, consolidate the posture. Tailbone down. If you've bound, it causes the shoulders to rotate, which means we have to broaden the heart. If you're not binding, it's going to mean we still have to do that same pattern. 3, the front leg stays strong. Push your heel down. 4, and then 5. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, squeeze in. Cross your shins, plant your hands, lift up, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, dandasana. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Let's go to some navasana forms. So boat pose forms. So from here, hands on the floor beside your feet. Pull like you're pulling back. Feel that drawing back. Now with your heels, same things. Pull the feet back. As you pull your feet back, you'll feel your core engaged. Pull your knees up towards your armpits. Reach your arms forward. So we want to feel this dragging with the arms forward to broaden the back of the heart, but the tailbone coils forward. Squeeze in. Then maybe legs up. Inhale, lift the legs up. As you exhale, go ahead and bring your feet almost to the floor. Reach your arms up behind you on the hollow front body. Press your kidneys down. Inhale, lift the legs up to the sky. As you exhale, reach your arms out in front. So we're in this more of a supine form here. Right, looks kind of like a boat pose. Bend the knees a little bit here. Inhale, pull the knees up. Exhale, push them to the sky. And then inhale, extend the legs long, reach the arms long. And exhale, squeeze up. Inhale pattern. Maybe you feel your lower back want to lift up. Push it down. Exhale pattern, squeeze in. Let's bring our heels down to the floor. Arms can come up above you. Inhale, the lower back lifts up. Exhale, press your kidneys towards the floor. Coil the tailbone, lift into that bridge type form. Hips come up. We'll add the arms here. Inhale pattern will elongate the arms, the torso. As you exhale, coil in, bring your hands beside you. Now let's add one leg. Inhale, let the lower back lift up off the floor. As you exhale, push your right leg up to the sky. Inhale, feel the lower back lift. Exhale, push with your heel up towards the sky. We'll take it deeper. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, lift your torso up, push through your heel. Inhale, maybe we lift our lower back off the floor. This time, exhale, push into more of a bridge form. Lift the hips. Inhale, pubic bone reaching forward a little bit, but keep it hollow. Exhale, one more time. Squeeze and release. Not really releasing, still stay in the moment of the vinyasa. As you exhale, lift the leg up, hands beside you. Torso stays down for a moment. Inhale, exhale, drag, drive the heel up to the sky, squeeze. Maybe your hips come up in that bridge form. Inhale, exhale, push up through the leg. Now inhale, lower back might want to lift, try not to let it do too much. As you exhale, push your arms out in front. Inhale, torso comes down. Exhale, push through your heel. And maybe we add a little bit of a hip lift here. Inhale pattern. As you exhale, push through your heel. Coil. 3 more. Inhale, arms come up. Maybe your leg extends. Exhale, find the bridge pose. Inhale, torso comes down. Exhale, squeeze the heel up. Last one. Inhale here. Exhale, push. And then inhale, lay down. Find your boat pose. So now our boat pose, arms come up, legs straight up. And then with your breath here, arms up above your head. Inhale, rolling back. And then exhale, bring your hips back down. So a little bit different, I didn't mean to do it that way. Bring your hands by your ears. And then with your legs bent, you can bend your knees here. Inhale, lift the legs straight. Exhale, pull the knees up to the chest. Inhale, hips come down. Exhale, legs come down. Inhale, legs come up. Exhale, squeeze them into the chest. Rock back towards your shoulders. Inhale, legs come up. Exhale, legs come down. Use your hands, push into the mat. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale, drag them back. Inhale, legs come up. Last one. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale, push into the floor with your hands. Toes come down. Chakrasana prep. And then roll forward. Cross your ankles. Pull them up into the chest. And drag. And then step back. High plank. Low plank. Chaturanga. Up dog on inhale. Down dog as you exhale. And then back bending. So we're going to move just into our wheel posture. Kind of did bridge pose there, but we're going to think about those 2 patterns first, okay? So hands by your ears. I always have to situate myself appropriately. All right, so hands by your ears, just like we did before. Take your tailbone towards your heels for a moment and release the sacrum down. Inhale, pubic bone reaches forward. You might even come up onto your toes. So we want to feel that pranic pattern lifts the heart up. But then as you exhale, take the tailbone forward and up. Come up onto the head. Inhale, drop the groin a little bit. Exhale, push into the floor. So in our back bends, same patterns. 1, 2, inhale, broaden the heart. Exhale, push, lengthen to the body. 3, 4, 5, coming down, maybe all the way down, maybe just to the head. And then again, inhale, lift up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and exhale. Bring your head down. Pubic bone reaching forward. Inhale, exhale, push. 1, 2, 3, 4, and and then 5. Bring it down. Let's do one more. This time 9 breaths. Push into the floor. Exhale, reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Release down. Back of the skull down to the floor, and then release your arms. Windshield wiper your legs. Timer 2. Both sides. Roll out the wrist if you need to. And then inhale, lift the legs up, hands by your ears. Exhale, squeeze back, float back to chaturanga, or roll forward. Keep the knees in, and step back. High plank pose to low plank pose, chaturanga. Bend the knees, look forward, float forward, set down in Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana, elongate out, and then find your forward fold. This practice has a lot of those forward folding patterns, those descending, coiling patterns, and that builds the strength. It also nurtures kind of the digestive system and the opening of the hips, which are problematic areas. Then we get to the end of the practice, we have those back bends. Of course, we're back bending throughout the practice when we do that up dog. But then we get to the end of the back of the practice and we're at those back bends. We do the back bends, invigorating back bends, and then we get to this point, and now we're starting to feel the integration of those two patterns. Not necessarily forcing them to integrate or pressing them together, but instead experiencing that pressing together, or experiencing that sensation it evokes. Lift the heart forward, broaden, and then as you exhale, slowly lay down. Push your heels down to Doggy Mudra. Again, deeper form of the yoga practice. Press your palms down, press your tailbone forward, keeping the eyes gently open lest you drift off into oblivion. Lengthen, press the kidneys long and down, broaden the lower back. 3, 4, and then 5. Inhale, lift the legs up towards the sky, Viparita Karani. I'm going to stay here today. I'm going to recommend you stay here today as well. If you're just bound to take shoulders down, do so now. Otherwise, pay attention to those two forms. It's a very healing posture. If you're letting your lower back lift up, coil the tailbone down. If that's causing you to really compress across the front of the body, move your thighs gently away and then push up through your heels. If you feel like your neck is coming up off the floor, look down the body and press your palms down. Again, finding the integration of these two forms. If you still feel like you're struggling to keep your lower back down, bring your thumbs underneath your hips or underneath your lower back. Just that little bit can help to build that pattern. 3. Maybe you push through your toes on inhale. Maybe you flex your toes back as you exhale. And then find both engagements simultaneously. 4. And then 5. Happy baby or plow pose. So bend the knees, grab the big toes to the sides of the feet for happy baby pose. Plow pose. Toes press into the floor. Interlace your fingers. Lifting pubic bone to the sky, pushing toes towards the earth. Tops of the feet could be on the floor as well. Wrist press down. 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Bend the knees for Karnapidasana. Or if you're in happy baby pose, staying there, you can also extend your legs a little bit, feeling the lower back and kidneys press down. 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Lower back comes down. As you exhale, maybe you come up onto the elbows and you look at your belly button. Coil the front of the body. And then inhale, drop the pubic bone back. Exhale, head comes back, tailbone long. Inhale, pubic bone drawn to the earth. And exhale, tailbone drawn to the heels. Find that variation that where both patterns are engaged. The head drawn down. 3, 4, and 5. Lift the legs up. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Chin towards your chest, roll out. Lay flat. From here, let's go into Yoga Mudrasana. Hands by your ears. Wrap the elbows in, knees into the chest, rock back towards your shoulders, roll forward, and then from here, take your feet into lotus, half lotus, Sukhasana, any of those variations. I'm going to take Sukhasana. As we do, we want to think in terms of coiling tailbone forward, but also lifting the back of the heart. Reach back, grab your toes from behind. Right, left hand first, then right, or grab opposite elbows so that the chest broadens by drawing the elbows downward a little bit, lifting the chin up off the chest. Exhale, fold forward out over your legs. Maybe your chin touches, maybe at the end of the exhale you find that it's easier to bring your forehead down to the floor. 1, 2, broaden the heart. 3. So Yoga Mudrasana, we want to feel the pubic bone draw in and up. We want to feel the tailbone press down. On the inhale pattern, we want to feel the hollowing and lifting. As we exhale, we feel the tailbone drawn down. And then by the end of the 5th breath, those two patterns move in towards one another. They consolidate, holding our focus, our attention in a deep way. Yoga Mudra Asana. And then come on up, inhaling. As you exhale into Padmasana, release the arms. Maintain those two patterns in a state of meditation or in a state of stillness. It looks like meditation, but the breath is still consistent. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, lift your chin up off your chest. As you exhale, bring your knees up towards your armpits. Press your hands into the floor. Lift up for 10 breaths. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Release. Move through your vinyasa. Cross your ankles, step back or float. Up dog. And then down dog, hips to the sky. Bend the knees, float forward. So moving towards standing. Inhale, lift chin up off your chest and then fold in. Reverse swan dive, rise up to the top. Palms pressed together. Hands to heart center. Or I'm just going to bring my knees down so I'm in the frame of the camera. And so we reach the end of the practice, and we'll finish with our closing mantra here. We've only really worked on just those two fundamental actions in these postures, and so they're the same throughout the practice. We move towards a state from kind of separation and disintegration, moving outwards, and sometimes dissolving away from what we would call our truer self or a truer locus of our being. And then as we practice, we consolidate, we press these images, these patterns together, we move towards wholeness. And that becomes our offering to the universe. And let's go ahead and do our final mantra here. Do it together, beginning with an Om deep breath. Swasti prajabhya pare palayantam naena margena mahim maheshaha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Ekam inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, Chapwati, move through your final flow.
From down dog, bend the knees, look forward, flow forward, and slowly lay onto your back. Shavasana. Final resting pose, corpse pose. As you lay on your back, in many ways what we've done is we've kind of rolled the dough out, right? So like with a rolling pin, we kind of press downward into the table or the counter or the board. So we're pressing from above, pressing down. At the same time, there's that yeast that's pressing up against towards this guy, needing that, so it has to be rolled out. Throughout the practice, however, we continuously roll those two patterns together, press them together. What kind of comes out, the residue that's left, we call amriti, or the nectar of our yoga practice. So as we work through our practice, we're kind of pushing and pulling, we're rolling, we're pressing, we're lifting, we're coiling, we're doing all of these different things. And ultimately, near the end of the practice, all of that dissolves away, it becomes very natural, it holds its own form. You no longer have to effort, but that intelligence stays. That is our yoga practice, that's our Ashtanga practice. It's truly an honor to be with you this morning. I hope this was useful for you. I wish for you a wonderful, wonderful day. About to namaste.